And we are live with another episode of Brownish Live. You know my co-host, the lovely, the hilarious Sasha Mercy.
I am very lucky to be co-hosting with you. You know what I mean? Every
No,
month.
I'm very lucky to be co-hosting with you because let's get elephant in the room. Your show's debuting tonight.
I know. It's surreal. It's surreal. Like we've been doing press last week. We just did press this morning.
Mhm.
It's been a lot. I've been waking
Yeah.
up super early just to talk to people with the crust in my eye, and I'm just like, yeah, you know, as coherent as possible.
Oh, nice. And then so you guys are doing an IG takeover tonight, right? Is that
Yeah,
what I read right? Nice.
correcto.
That's what I read. That's what, am I
Mhm.
right? Okay.
Right. You well informed and stuff. Yeah.
And like, how excited are you? Like, this is
I'm
gonna this is huge.
I'm excited, but I'm also nervous because like my family is overly critical, so I haven't told them about the show premiering. And I just got a call from my sister and she was like, "Listen, why the heck you ain't tell me that your show was premiering today?" I'm like, "Cause maybe I don't want you guys to see it. What if you guys, I don't know, it was just overly critical."
Well,
So,
I told you, my cousin called me with notes after my special. He said,
that's
"Listen, mira, it was that first joke. It was okay." I was like, "Whoa, hold up."
exactly.
So you
I
you
was
think
like,
you're gonna get?
are you aware that this is just the final product? Like, we don't need the extra stuff.
Yeah.
Is
Listen, Sasha, you need to hire me as your executive producer.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Thank you so much, Claudia.
We got Joe in the house as well. He's tuning in. But let's get started. We got a
Yeah,
very
I'm
special
excited.
guest.
I'm very excited for our guest today.
I'm super excited to have her. I've known her for years. Like once in a while, I get those Facebook reminders, like, "Hey, you remember 10 years ago?" I'm like, "Oh my god, I was a baby. Look at us." But she is one of the dopest people on the scene. You guys all know her. Give it up for Anjelah Johnson.
Hello.
Ah,
How
Hello.
I feel like
how are you?
I feel
Oh,
like
it's
the Tonight Show. We
digital.
should
I don't
have
have
a
to post.
we should have a band playing her in.
Yes.
And you got to do the. How are you?
I'm doing really well. Thank you. Just, same thing since March. So, doing great.
I feel like everyone's response always starts off high. Things are great. And then it's a lot of the stuttering. That's
Yeah.
when
Things are
just,
great. I mean, the world's on fire, but I'm doing
Yeah.
great.
I woke
You
up,
know?
which is amazing.
Yeah.
like already getting
Thank
love.
you, Joanna. I love you
Yes,
too.
yes.
Come back to El Paso. I love El Paso. I love
Uh,
Mexican food. So, yeah, I'll be there.
so you have been super busy during this whole quarantine. I've been watching you. You have been. You were doing TikTok dance challenges. Now you're doing workouts. Which, by the way, I watch your workouts as I'm always eating a snack. It's like Angel's gone live, and I'm like, look at her, she's showing off.
Yes. I'm actually gonna work out after this, which is why I am like in my workout gear. And I was like, should I do like hair and makeup for this? And I was like, but I'm gonna work out after. I don't want to sweat in makeup, so I'm gonna do all natural. And just be on brand for 2020 thus far. 2020 has been all natural year, so it's like super acceptable to not wear makeup on like television things these days. I mean, it's 2020. It's no rules.
Yeah, no rules. Everybody's doing. I just had a pitch meeting last week where the dude, like, usually go to these meetings and like they're all dressed up. He was just in a t-shirt. He's like, "I'm so sorry, my kids," and I was like, "Don't worry about it. I got it. Don't worry about it."
Kids jumping in the pitch meetings, just like, so what we're talking about, and this is my 2-year-old Sam. And then where are you thinking about full-on kid just in the meeting? And where are you thinking about? I'm like, okay, let's do it. Let's do all of this.
And by the way, you're having a panic attack. Like, I hope not only does the exec like it, but I hope the kid doesn't go, "I don't like that." And you're like,
Yeah. Go get a snack, kid. Go.
Yeah. And then you're also doing. I want to bring this up because I'm not gonna lie to you. Here in the show, one of us does believe in ghosts. I know you're doing ghost stories.
Yes. I need some new guests who have ghost stories. So if you have, Sasha, you got a ghost story? Ooh, girl, I'm gonna need you to come on my show, my next episode, and tell your ghost story. So what we do is like every other Friday, I go in my backyard and I go live on Instagram and I take callers of people who have a ghost story and they share their ghost story, and everybody watching is like asking questions and stuff like that. And I'm asking them questions, and I have a special guest that opens the show, and then I just take callers from fans, and it's so fun. And for anybody who likes ghost stories, like your typical, like sit around the campfire and tell some ghost stories type, it's like a throwback to that kind where you just want to go like, ooh, scary.
It's like goosebumps, like goosebump days.
Exactly. You just want some goosebumps, just like hear it, because it's nice to know when it happened to somebody else and not you. So that is also nice. But yeah, so we do ghost stories every other Friday, and it's so fun, and I'm having a good time with it. And so far, everybody's loving it.
Now, have you had a ghost experience, Anjelah?
I mean,
because
yes,
I've seen you on the road where you're like, oh, this room is haunted. I've seen that, but I don't think I've ever seen you go like, oh my God, this happened to me.
I mean, the most experience I've had was this last fall in Cleveland on our tour, and it was like electronic things happening. Like somebody called my phone and a ghost answered it, and my phone, somebody was talking on my phone.
Oh, what are you talking about? A ghost answered your phone.
Oh,
like you can't just say that.
So we're in Cleveland at this venue. It was haunted things happening from jump. As soon as we walked in, like this heavy door that's being held open by a brick metal cylinder, like a metal cylinder is holding the door open. All of a sudden the door just starts sliding shut, like closed. Like how does that even happen? Like you would need to like force it closed. That was as soon as we walked up. Hi, welcome to Cleveland, door. And we're like, oh, is this place haunted? You know? So anyways, we got a tour of the building, and later that day, we're in the green room. The green room is in the basement of this old place, right? And everyone's gone. It's just me and my dog and my friend who was on the road with us. And I was like, oh, I need to feed Bonzo, but I left his food on the bus. Can you go get it? She's like, sure. So she leaves. Now it's just me and Bonzo there in the room. I'm on my computer typing away. And then I have my phone sitting on the table, like right here, right? So I'm typing, whatever. And then I'm like, where did my dog go? He left out of the green room and he was going up the stairs to the stage. So I was like, ooh, let me go get him before he get eaten by a ghost or something like that. So then I put the computer down. I go running after him. I pick him up, bring him back into the green room. I shut the door and I go and I sit down, and I'm about to start typing again when I look over at my phone, and it is now on in the middle of a phone call. Like, you know how you can see the timer, the clock going of a phone call?
Yeah.
It's on the table by itself.
And who did it call?
Yeah, who did?
So I pick up my phone and I'm like, is my phone on? And then I can hear someone talking. So I go, hello? And it was my friend who just left to the bus to get the food. She goes, hello, can you hear me? And I was like, yeah, did you just call me? And she goes, yeah. Somebody answered and said, hey. So I started talking.
You're lying. Are you serious?
Nobody was in there. I was by myself. Nobody was in there. That was probably the creepiest thing that happened. That and like some things happening with music. That was it. So I didn't see any, like there was a figure and then I didn't see any of that. But just weird things that I'm like, okay, Ghost in here got some jokes. All right.
So someone picked up your phone and said, hey.
Mm-hmm.
Did they say it was like your voice? Did it sound like you?
Yeah, she said it sounded like me. It sounded like I answered, and I said, hey. Yeah, I didn't. I was upstairs.
And you still stayed there. You didn't leave? Like you didn't like bounce or like? Yo, I would have show canceled. I gotta go. Like, this is freaking creepy. Can we schedule to another?
For coming. Yeah, thank you for coming. That was so sweet. You can go ahead and get your reimbursement at the door. No, I think because I'm like into the haunted stuff, so I was like, oh shoot, okay, so I'm more like entertained by it. Yeah. If it was like real super scary and things were flying off the wall, then I'd be like, hell no, I'm out. I'm gonna wait in the bus. When it's my turn to come on stage, I'm gonna need 3 security guards to walk me on stage and be posted up on every corner. I'm gonna do my show. I'm gonna bounce. No meet and greet. Nothing. Everybody go home.
Wait. What is security guards gonna do against ghosts?
Yeah.
What'd you say, Eric?
I said, what is security guards gonna do against ghosts?
Right.
I don't know. I'm just gonna feel more safe though. At least he'll like jump in front of me if it tries to like attack me. I don't know.
No, you're gonna need a santera, a priest, like all
right.
Like a freaking Gohans and something. Like, you're gonna need all of that spiritual stuff.
You're right. I would have pulled out my essential oils and
exactly. Wow, that's so freaking creepy. And after that, like, have you had any more like weird ghost stories or?
Not really. That was the creepiest one. I mean, every venue we go into is a little bit haunted in some way, but that was definitely the most activity I've ever experienced. I mean, that was one of so many things that happened that night. But yeah, that was probably the most activity I've ever had. But I love hearing about other people's stories and just asking questions, and because my imagination goes crazy and I can like visualize everything. It's fun. Storytelling's fun.
Yeah. What was the most interesting ghost story that you've heard?
Joe Coy's ghost story.
I haven't heard
it's insanity. He basically, long story short, he went on vacation in Hawaii with his whole family. They Airbnb'd a house and they had the house for 12 days. So they were about to spend a good long vacation at this big, beautiful house along the beach. And they lasted 2 days and bounced. It was so evil. Like evil. Like his nephew got possessed.
No, you're lying.
Yeah, possessed and like possessed.
I'll tell you what though, that's the first ghost story I've heard that takes place in like a tropical vacation setting. It's usually like in a big scary house, like on a mountain. This ghost at least had taste. Like, I want to be by the beach if I'm on haunt.
Hawaii actually has a lot of activity. There's a lot of spiritual activity in Hawaii. Mm-hmm.
Why would you say that? I like Hawaii. Why would you say Hawaii?
Yeah, it's known. Everybody knows.
Is there like, oh my god, have you guys, since we're already on like on this creepy topic, like, have you guys heard of Randall Nottingham?
No.
Oh, yeah, I don't know about. So Randall Nautica. All right, so
wait, what's the name again?
Spell it.
Randall Nautica. So
this sounds like an exercise equipment machine.
Right.
RANDONAUTICA. Randall Nautica. And it's an app that you like download on your phone, and supposedly like I've never like done it personally, but I don't know if you guys saw the news one time about these kids that they downloaded the app, and what you need to do is like put your intentions onto the app. And once you put like, what are the things you want to find? And supposedly, I don't know how real this particular part of the story where they're like, oh, we want to find something exciting and evil. And then what Randall Nautica did was like send them the coordinates to like this random this random suitcase by the beach somewhere. And when they opened it, it was like people's remains.
Nope.
No. Okay, I just looked it up.
Yeah.
Nope. Don't download that, Anjelah.
Don't download it.
No, I'm not downloading. There's no way. Just the website.
But that's the stuff where people do it, and I'm like, why would you do like? What movie was it? Was it Paranormal Activity? I think. And the dude laid out the rules, like, hey man, whatever you do, don't antagonize this thing. Don't get a Ouija board, and don't eat salt or whatever it was, like the third one. And this dude started doing all the things. I was like, you are asking for it.
No,
Yeah.
no, thank you. This says it's offline right now.
Yeah, I mean, it was just sending people to like random places. Like one of my friends, they were like that they put their intentions to like something haunted and fun, and then it took them to a morgue, right? But they didn't break in. And then they were like, oh, then they were like, okay, let's just switch up the energy. Let's say like somewhere fun, and then it just sent them the coordinates of like someone's home, and there was a party. Like you can see that there was a party of like people were partying outside.
I mean, this is super interesting and intriguing. I don't know that I want to play, but what a cool idea, though.
Right? Like
maybe we can hire like a task rabbit to play to see what happens.
I'll watch a YouTube video about it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes. Yeah, it's supposed to something about quantum physics and theory of mimic energy engineering, something like that. I was just like, how about that is not for me? This like every horror film is like, wow, why? Yeah. It's like you see the two kids looking out in a random abandoned home, and then all of a sudden you just see somebody like about to kill them. It's like you couldn't make out blood at home.
I want to know, who are the people in the movie, like the movie character? Who are these people in real life? The ones who hear a noise outside and go outside and go, hello? You there?
Yeah.
People. Like, they really exist? No, thank you.
Like my best friend D Nasty, and she's like my cousin, right? Because no, we're not blood cousins, but we like grew up together, so I call her my cousin. So we're the ones that are doing the show together. But she is like, oh my god, she's so freaked out by like demons and stuff like that. But she's the person that she's like, I hear something. Let's go. I'm like, bitch, no. Like on your own. Like,
where did you grow up, Sasha?
In the Bronx. Bronx, New York.
Okay. You're Puerto Rican?
Dominican.
And your cousin, she's Dominican too?
Yeah, she's Dominican. She's Dominican, half Albanian. But I was like, that's your Albanian side. Looking for
wow, okay.
That's your Albanian side. Looking for the horrors because absolutely not. There was one time where she thought that she saw a ghost, and because in my old spot where I used to live in California here, I live in California right now, and the kitchen has like two like doors, right? So she saw everybody leave, right? So she thought she was there by herself. And so my friend left and came back, but she didn't see my friend come back into the house. So she's like cleaning and stuff. And all she sees is like, my friend had like this kimono that was like flowy. So all she sees is like this flowy kimono go through the door. And she's just like, ah! She takes a knife and she runs towards it. And I'm like, bro, you trying to like.
First of all, you can't shank no ghost.
You can't.
Don't
like,
get
what are you
shanked.
doing, bro? What are you doing?
But this is the funny thing about New Yorkers and ghosts, okay? I interviewed a New Yorker on my Ghost Stories with Anjelah, and her story, it was her and her husband, boyfriend at the time, because it was a long time ago. They were at this like lookout point or whatever, and they saw this like woman like walking that looked like it could have been a ghost, and her response was that, "Excuse me, are you a ghost?" She said, "Are you a ghost?" And she goes, and then she like did her hair like this and like waved at me, and I was like, okay, so you made friends? Like that's New Yorker, like who just said, excuse me, I just need to know.
Yeah, I need to know if I'm gonna bother you or I'm gonna run. That's all.
Right. Are you good or are you bad? Like what kind?
I feel like as Latinos, we're always been afraid of ghosts. Like I feel like my family has already prepped us for like, you know, in case there's a ghost, you know, you put your agua florida in the corner, you take there's this thing that's like acanfor, like this thing that you put underneath the bed and it evaporates. It's like these mint capsules that you put, but it's called acanfor or something like that. And so like that's supposed to keep like the evil spirits away, maybe an egg under your bed. And all of these like superstitious things like that I grew up with, una velita, un candle, like just to make sure that no evil energies or anything like that attach themselves to you, right? So it's like we kind of have that superstition in us, even if we never saw it. So like for me, it was a long time before I first encountered an experience with a ghost. So like I would always be like, esa vaina, ¿qué tú me estás diciendo a mí? Like, what is that? What is that? You know? I remember I was like in Atlanta, Georgia, and I was staying at a friend's house, and it was like 3 bedrooms, and they had like this really big living room. But I noticed that in the 3rd bedroom, no one really slept there. People would sleep in the living room. So I just thought like, oh, my friend just doesn't like the room. They're just sleeping in the living room, right? So like it was like a huge sleepover night, and like all the space was like taken. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just uncomfortable here. Let me just go sleep in the empty room. Like I should have put 2 and 2 together. Like there's so many people, but yet no one is sleeping in that room. So I just remember like laying on my stomach, and all I hear is the door kind of creak open and just go, Sasha,
no,
Sasha, Sasha, Sasha. And I'm like, oh my God, like I'm trying to fall asleep. I'm like, what? And like, Sasha, come. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like acting like I'm ignoring my friend. And then I feel somebody's body on me, like just the weight of somebody on me. And I was like, yo, get the fuck. And I looked back, there was nobody there. Nobody was on me. So just imagine, like if you press on your chest, you feel that. And that's what it felt like. Like just someone pressing their whole body on you.
Oh,
and
no.
And I looked under the bed, I looked in the closet, and I was like, let me go sleep in my little uncomfortable spot. And then the next day, like I thought I was crazy, so I didn't say anything. And then like later on, I was like, hey, so I was in the room, and then something like none of you happened to like lay on me, right? And they were like, oh no, that room is haunted. And I was like, oh.
That's our haunted room?
Oh, okay, so ghosts are real. All right, heard you.
First of all, to ask that question to your friend, hey, did any of you guys lay on me last night?
Like without my permission? Like,
yeah. No, that's crazy. I don't ever want to experience those things. No,
now,
but I do want to hear about other people.
Now, does your husband believe in ghosts?
I don't know. I think like he doesn't not believe in them. He's definitely not obsessed like I am. He doesn't care for scary movies or TV shows or anything like that. That doesn't pique his interest at all. That's more.
I know my wife Katie. She does. Like she'll, and we'll be home late at night, and I'm that husband. She'll be like, what was that noise in the kitchen? I'm like, I don't know, it's the dishwasher. She's like, it's not even on. I'm like, whatever. I'm the worst person to have in a scary movie. What's that noise over there? I don't know. If you can go check it out, but I'm not.
That's how it feels. It feels like if you acknowledge it, then you're gonna be part of a scary movie. And you're like, nah, if I acknowledge it, then it's gonna know I'm here. And then it's like, let's not acknowledge it.
If I acknowledge it, that's like close your eyes. If I can't see it, it can't see me.
That's what one of my cousins told me, that she was laying in her bed and that she felt and she saw like the edge of her bed like just dent in, like somebody was sitting there, and she was just like, listen, I'm no medium, I don't know what you want, and I am not strong enough for this, so leave me alone. And then
wow. I like that she clearly articulated her feelings and was like, listen, I have boundaries.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But that's the New Yorker. Like you ignore it. It's like the homeless people on the subway. Like I'm just gonna look away.
Yeah. That is so.
So yeah, you're gonna have to get Sasha on. Sasha's been telling me this story, and I don't buy into it. I'm not a ghost believer. I'm not.
Listen, if it wasn't true, I would never say the story.
I didn't say it's true, but I personally don't. I don't.
So don't you hear stories and you don't believe it happened?
Wait, what happened?
You hear stories and you don't believe it happened, or you just believe it's something else, like it's the wind or something.
I believe it's something else. I believe it because, and I've watched those shows and like the movies and stuff, and it's always an old timey ghost. Like people. I hate to sound so morbid, but people pass away every day. And there's never like a modern day ghost. Like it's always like, oh, this woman in a long lacy dress all the way down to. It's never like, oh, there was this girl there, and she had on yoga pants and and like a crop top that says Sunday Fun Day. It's never, yeah. She had a messy bun. Yeah, she had a messy bun. She was just like, "Hey, what's up? I'm a ghost." It's never that. So for me, it's one of those things where I'm just like, I don't know.
She was like drinking a Starbucks latte or something.
Yeah, she had a latte. Just hi.
Oh, some
ghosts just want attention.
Could it be that those people that are ghosts wanted attention so bad in their actual life that they had to stick around and get other people's attention? Could it be?
Mm-hmm.
Could it be that?
Could be.
No, I didn't get enough attention, so I'm gonna hold on.
Yeah.
Could be it.
Beetlejuice is my favorite.
Let's switch gears here. Let's talk comedy, because there hasn't been any since March. Have you had any desire to try to do those drive-in shows? Because I like asking comics, because there's some comics that are like, oh heck yeah, I need to get back on the stage, and then some comics are like, no, I'm good with cars and car honks.
I do want to experience it once at least to see like what it's about and to say that I experienced it. Like I'm down for a new adventure for sure. But I don't say that in the sense of like I need to get back on stage, so let me go book a drive-in show or a Zoom show or whatever show. Like I don't look at it in that sense. I look at it in like, that might be fun. I would like to experience that at least once. And then if it's amazing, sure, I'll do it again, you know?
Yeah. Because you strike me at like, I feel like you and I come from we come from the same cloth of where we need the audience to feel that energy and to interact off of.
Right.
So like I don't know if my self-esteem is strong enough to like tell a joke and then beep beep. Like, hold up, what?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like you'll be able to hear the laugh, but it's not going to be like that roarish, like in your face laugh. It's more of like a corporate gig laugh.
Yeah.
What is
good.
What does that consist of? Like a corporate gig laugh? Like what is that? I haven't.
Non-existent. It's like it's just a tough crowd. It's like some corporate gigs can be great, but think of like there's these people at work in the middle of a meeting, and they get called into like this, you know, meeting room, whatever, and like, okay, we're gonna have this show now, or it's like a party where it's open bar and a DJ, and they're like, okay, stop the music and come listen to comedy now. They're like, oh, I would rather just keep drinking and over here. But so it's just like not an ideal situation. And so it's just awkward. Or it's like a banquet and everybody's dressed up nice and eating like a fancy dinner, you know, like you're not going to get the comedy club type laugh.
Yeah. Because I think we get spoiled too, like with the work we do. Like we're all pretty much who we are with each other. Like whatever dumb thought, hey, I was thinking about this, and you just throw it out there. And when you work in a corporate environment, you're trying not to show that side of you, that like, oh, I think these crazy thoughts. So you're trying to be all proper and stuff. So like when a comic does show up and you tell a joke or something, they're just like, I don't know if I should laugh at that because they might judge me. And there's always HR. HR is always in the room too, which makes it even more uncomfortable for them.
Yeah. It's just not ideal, but it's a paycheck. It'll pay my bills though.
I heard you. Where's your favorite place to perform when you do stand-up?
My most loyal fans that go nuts for me are in Texas. So anywhere that I perform where it's the energy is just so like the vibration is so high and you just feel like you're walking into like a group of your homies. I like that. I like to perform there. And for me, that's always been Texas, all throughout Texas for sure. Some places more hype than others, obviously, but Texas is just fire for me. And then of course I like to perform in cities where it's like destination cities like New York, you know, Miami, Hawaii, like, of course, because then you're like, I'm going to vacation and
Right.
work, you know?
Yeah.
I'm going to stay for 2 weeks or whatever it is.
Right.
But, like, I'm not trying to stay 2 weeks in, like, you know, Tulsa. No offense, Tulsa.
Yeah. Do you feel like, that makes sense. But do you feel like, because of COVID and the pandemic and everything that's happening, like, do you feel like it was a needed break, or do you feel like before, like, you were always on the go and now it's like, okay, now everything's more calm, like I'm rethinking certain things? So like,
Yes, all
yeah.
of the above. I actually last September had planned to take a break in 2020, and I
so
said I was
like
gonna.
Oh, okay.
So this is you. You did this.
Oh, you did
this
this.
with your go. You did this with your go.
I need a break, and the way I was like, Anjelah needs a break, guys.
Sorry, that was the Lord. That's how much the Lord loved me. He was like,
Right.
"I need a break." So all y'all going on a break. I had decided last September that I was like gonna take a break for 2020, come off the road, get reconnected with my creator, get in alignment. I was gonna deconstruct some things about this machine that I have built, which is an amazing machine that I'm so grateful for, and it's gotten me to where I am today. But I'm sure there are things that no longer serve my highest purpose and my highest good, and it's good to do that in all of our lives. And it's just like a rocket ship as it's like ascending, right? And at one point, these parts fall off, and then it goes even higher because you don't need these tools to go to the next level. These tools got you to here, right? So if you take it into the next level, that's just heavy weight that you're trying to bring along with you. That is taking your energy, taking your strength, taking your creativity, taking all of the things that you don't need any longer. And the same thing with your garden, like you prune, like I don't need this leaf, it's dead, it's dying, all the things. So I knew that I needed to do that in my life, and 2020 was going to be the year that I did. And turns out everybody was going to do that too. So yes, this was the rest that I've been getting has been much needed. The reconnecting, the disconnecting in certain areas has been much needed. All the other stuff of 2020, of course, don't love any of that, but
yeah.
actual, let me disconnect for a second and figure out, what do I want? What makes me happy? What do I really need in my life? And that's kind of where I'm at, is figuring all that out.
Well, let me ask you then, and we're gonna get a little deep here, but what have you learned about yourself during this? Because I feel like there's some people that have, with the lockdown, just gone, oh, woe is me, and just sat on the sidelines. And like I told you before, I feel like you've been busy and exactly what you're doing, like trying to realign, trying to find yourself. And I'll tell you, during the lockdown, like there's a lot of stuff I found out about myself, like, oh, like working on the writing aspect of stuff and going, oh, I know how to create these things. This is kind of cool. And sharpening these tools from my toolbox, and this is going to help me grow. So what have you learned about yourself during this whole shutdown?
I think the things that I'm learning are less about work and more about my character and my insides, like all of that, all of my inner child, my shadow work, all that kind of stuff that we grow and evolve as humans all the time. And it takes work to do that. And a lot of times we don't either know how to do the work that we need to do the work, or we're too tired to do the work because it's hard work on yourself, or it's too hard. It's just too hard. You got to face your demons. You got to really like, we give ourselves so much grace in our own lives to make mistakes and like to maybe say something we didn't mean, but like, oh, they'll get over it or whatever. But like, it takes a lot of work to be humble and look yourself in the mirror and go, where do I need work? Where am I? Where can I use some growth? Not that I'm a horrible person. I don't think I'm a horrible person at all. I think I'm a great person, but we can always be better and evolve. I can always be a better wife. I can always be a better friend. And those were some of the things that I wanted to do in this break of 2020, was be more, what's it called when you do it on purpose? Intentional. Be more intentional with my friendships and my relationships, because when I am like operating and go, like touring, promoting, all the stuff, my friendships become, hey, if you can come to my house while I'm doing laundry and packing for my next trip, on my 2 days off, while I'm watching Law and Order SVU, if you can come during that time, great. We could be real good friends.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't know how to make this work because I'm busy. You know what I mean? And that's not healthy. It's not fair. But also, sure, it's balance. It's balance.
Right.
There's got to be some understanding in your relationships and friendships. Like, this is the life that she lives. But then at the same time, there's got to be intention to be a part of my friends' lives, to show up when they need me, to have space to think about their problems. If your friend calls you and is like, yo, I'm dealing with this, and you don't even have the capacity in your mind or your spirit to carry some of that weight for them, to be like, you're my friend, I got you, how can I help you? What is that? You know what I mean? Like, you want to be there for them in the same way you want them to be there for you when you need it. But if you don't even have space for others, you're filled with yourself, that's not balance, and that's not healthy to me. So I've learned that about myself, is the parts that I need to balance and bring into alignment and all of that kind of stuff. And it's hard self-work, but that's what I've been doing mostly this quarantine.
No, that's amazing. And I agree. Like, it's hard to find that balance, because sometimes you get so wrapped up in stuff. And exactly what you're saying, like, yeah, I got Tuesday at 1:30 if you want to come by, and that's all I got for you. And you feel bad, because like I know there was times I'd get busy, and then like I'd have friends that going through stuff, and hey, why don't you call me? Like, yeah, I didn't want to trouble you. I saw you would do it, and it's like, oh, you feel like a bad person. You're like, damn, no, call me. You know?
Yeah, it's all of that. So I know it's not like fun and funny and like, oh, I'm learning, I'm a good director.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I feel, you know what I'm doing? I'm doing the work to fill up my cup of all the things that I need to be healthy, whole, happy, full of joy, full of love. I'm filling up my cup so that when I'm ready to create and be creative again, I will be creating out of the overflow. Out of like joy overflowing, love overflowing. I'm creating out of the overflow, and not like from fumes, not from like, oh, I'm exhausted, but let me try to create something. Let me try to come up with content, be relevant. Like, no, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to fill up me so that I am overflowing with joy and creativity and love, and that everything that I create is coming from that. And so it's like, here you go. This is not even, I don't even feel the weight of this departing my body, because it's out of the overflow. This is for you. This is for you. Here's a sketch I wrote. Here's a TV show I created. This is out of the overflow. I'm not even depleted. You know what I mean? Like, that's where I want to get to.
That's interesting, because I was having this conversation with my friend, and I was like, you know, being in this industry, it is hard to like balance things out, but you start to realize that being here and then being someone who is working for yourself, that you are a 24-hour job, you know? And so those things that you are saying are the things that are going to keep you grounded and balanced. Because if you have too much of this, then you're empty here, and you won't be able to like really live that life that you're saying, where it's like you're full of joy, and like, yeah, you can be famous, but like, are you happy? It's like, do people really care for you? Do people love you? And I think that that's more honorable than just a whole bunch of people that don't really know you. Just liking your stuff.
Double tap.
Yeah. Like,
LOL. That's funny.
Right.
Great. It took me 2 weeks to put that whole thing together, that I wasn't hanging out with my friends and family or investing into their lives. So thank you for the double tap. That's why I did this?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Exactly. That is important.
So, what are you looking forward to once all this is said and done?
That is a good question.
I just mean the pandemic. I don't want it to come off like what is your legacy once this is all?
When all is said and done and you breathe your last breath.
Yeah.
You know what? Like I said, I hope to just be at a place where I am overflowing and I have room for friends, for family. I have room to that I would just be in the overflow and creating out of overflow. That would be amazing, because if that is happening, then that means everything else is lined up and I'm full. So
yeah,
that's that, hopefully.
That's some real ass shit.
That's some grown stuff.
That's some because people think it's just like, for someone to be a healthy person, it's like you need spiritual wellness, you need financial wellness, you need social wellness. It's like, it's not just one thing. For you to be a healthy person, you have to look into all the aspects of your life. You got to do it, baby. Because of
all of it.
What you
It's funny. It's funny that you're like, oh, you were neglecting these things, but like I've always seen you as somebody, because like I know you, and then I see on your social, like you've always been surrounded by your family. So I always assume like, oh, she's found the balance, and now you're here like, yeah, I didn't have the balance. I was a mess.
Well, that's the thing. People would always ask me, how do you balance work life and family? How do you balance and da 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 da? And I would just be like, I don't know, I just do. And then when you pause and you think about it, you're like, oh wait, I'm not actually balanced. Like, for instance, I would go do a weekend where I did like 8 sold out shows and doing meet and greets afterwards, and woke up early to do press, and like you were talking about, wake up early with the iCrusties to go call radio stations or whatever it is, and doing all of that, and like meet and greets, pictures, and you stay up late and then wake up early and then get on a flight and then transfer to the next flight, and then you wait for your luggage. By the time you get in the Uber, and then you get all the way home, and you're just like exhausted and depleted from the whole thing, and you have 2 days to do your laundry and repack and go to your next city, right? And I'm exhausted and depleted, and then here goes Manny like, hey, you want to go on a date night when you land? And I'm like, the audacity. You have to ask me on a date when you know I'm exhausted. Do you see what I just did for us? Like, I am depleted and exhausted, and you want me to put makeup on and dress up and like some heels? Oh my God, I'm offended. Like, it was just not healthy, because it was like, and he was so good about it. Like, he would be like, I get it. You're working so hard. Like, I get it. But at the same time, then we don't go on date nights because I'm exhausted always. Like, that's not okay. That's not good for our marriage.
Right.
And so it's like little things like that would add up in friendship, in marriage, in family, and honestly, if we keep it 100, I feel like I have a beautiful career that I love and I'm so grateful for. But sometimes it feels like I hit this wall. Like, how many shows have we pitched that we think it's a go, and it's like, not a go. We'll buy the script. Yes, we won't film the pilot. Okay. Yeah. Next. You booked the pilot, you're casting this show, cool, we're going to recast you with this person. Oh, shoot, darn it, almost, so close, right? Like, sometimes it feels like you hit this wall with your career, and it's like, why can't I break through this wall? Like, I'm doing well and all these things, but I can't break through this wall. And I feel like sometimes the fact that I am putting my career first, my career is top priority, this hustling, striving, like, I don't want to go on a vacation and take a break because I might miss an opportunity. I might miss an audition. I might miss an important meeting. Like, I don't know, man. Like, it's just career number one. I feel like me having my priorities wrong is what kept my career right where it's at. This wall right here has to do with my priorities not being aligned. And it's so interesting. Like, I make this thing my number one, and that's part of the reason why it's staying right where it is, because it's not supposed to be number one. It's supposed to be out of the overflow. Like, my marriage, my family, that's number one. Like, all of this needs to be number one. And then this happens as an extra, as a blessing. Like that is just like, oh, awesome. You know what I mean? And I had my priorities mixed up. And I feel like that has a lot to do with why my career is great, but it's right here. It's going to stay right here until I fix some stuff, you know?
Yeah. By the way, a side note, because like it's so funny. people watching this will probably be like, oh, why is she complaining? Why is Sasha complaining? All they had to do was an interview in the morning. Like, people don't realize the effort it takes. Like, we always have to be in a good mood. Like, you can't walk into radio or in an interview. How you doing? I'm all right. Because then it's like, oh,
right.
They weren't even funny. Like, and if you think about it in like just a regular person's day to day, like this day you go to work, you don't feel like being at work, and you're just in a mood. And I don't talk to me today. Like, people would be so offended, like if they came up to like, oh my God, Anjelah, just not today, not to.
Yeah.
How could she? But we always have to be on. We always have to be funny. Hey, because if you're not, then it's like,
yeah. You know how many Rebels I have to drink to be on a positive mood? And it's not even that I'm a positive mood. It's just that my body's so hyped that I'm like, hey guys, how are you? Yeah, like it's like mad Rebel. Just able to
Red Bulls.
yeah. Sasha was famous. She was so aggressive. Watch my show. Watch it tonight. What?
Yes, right now. It's like you're so like, wow, you're so happy. It's like, no, the anxiety just really got my face this way. Yeah, it's a lot, man. But honestly, like everything that you're saying is, I'm writing it down right here.
Yeah.
I'm taking notes.
By the way, that was another thing I learned during this whole lockdown. I was like, sometimes you gotta listen to your body. Like those days where you're just like, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not. Just rest. Like sometimes we take that for such granted because we're flying out, we're running here, we're running there, and if you keep on the go, you don't realize it. You don't notice it. Like the little back pains or the little this pain or that. You just like, oh, I'll just keep working through it.
Mm-hmm.
And then during all this, it's like, oh no. Listen to your body, because guess what? You only got one. It's not like I could trade this in for a newer model.
That's right. That's right.
And
that's a word.
Since you've been working on like, making sure that you fill your cup till it overflows, do you feel like now, since you have been kind of shifting your priorities, do you feel a little more creative now?
Not yet. Sometimes I do. Sometimes an idea will spark and I'll remind myself that I'm a creative person. Sometimes an idea, or I'll say something that's funny, and then I'll remind myself like, oh yeah, I'm funny. I forgot. You know what I mean? But I feel like I have to make the switch in my mind to be like, okay, I'm ready to start being creative. I'm ready to start putting something out there, but I haven't made that switch in my mind yet. So to answer your question, not yet.
Okay. That makes
sense.
I'm
so funny. I could be saying funny things.
Like, I know you're funny.
That's funny. And that's funny if you're having that conversation with yourself. Like you say something like, you should be a comedian. Hold up, I am.
Yeah. I think as a comedian, it just like comes and goes, right? There's moments where it's like, wow, like that was a really good joke. Like I really outdid myself. And then sometimes you can't. It's just like brain fart over and over and over again.
Yeah. Sometimes sometimes it's like
like I just had a joke like did you guys feel that earthquake? Anjelah, are you here in California?
Yes, but I wasn't in the city when it happened. I was out of town.
Okay, so the earthquake.
Hold up. I'm not saying it's a conspiracy, but Anjelah wanted a break. The whole world's on a break, and she wasn't here for the earthquake. I'm not saying.
I know people,
lady. God is on your side.
I don't believe in ghosts, but I do believe in conspiracies.
Tell God to hook me up too. Like I like woke up, right? And then I was just like, just randomly like, yo, rappers don't rap about this. And I'm like, yo, there's so many California rappers. Like, so I'm like, that's a joke. Like, I just couldn't believe that was like my first thought that like came to my mind. And I'd even tweeted it. I'm like, yo, like, I'm from New York City and I know that there's gangster people out there, but just imagine trying to do gangster shit in the middle of an earthquake. Like that shit gotta be scary. Like,
oh my God, that's hilarious. That there needs to be some.
And you have all these like, Dr. Dre, Eazy-E, they never rapped about an earthquake. And I'm like, this should be happening,
Right. We got like 10 California love type songs, but we don't have no earthquake. Like, yo, Who is it? Is it East Coast or is it West Coast? Do y'all get earthquakes? Okay, then don't even come.
Exactly.
Don't try to come for me. If y'all never even experienced an earthquake, you better stay in New York then.
Exactly. I was like, yo, much respect for the gangsters out here, son.
Yeah.
Damn. But that's like how it happens with comedians. Like you be in the middle of something crazy and then you're like,
earthquake, son. Earthquake.
Yeah. You got a new TikTok dance with the earthquake.
I was so shook though.
Yeah, I like it's so funny. Like I'll have those thoughts where like, oh, that'd be a funny joke, but it's like, where am I gonna go do it? Just write it down.
You can
see. I feel like once the pandemic is over, I think 2021 is just gonna be a bunch of comedians like, hey, you remember back in June? Okay, hold on. I got a premise. Hold on. You remember July? Hold on. 2020 July? Hold on. I got some jokes about that.
Yo, bro. And listen, this is another joke that I thought about. Cause like I was talking to my brother and he was just like, yeah. I was like, yo, these fires are happening in California. And he was like, yeah, you know, he's like, it's because they're closing down churches in California. Like it's a state mandated law to shut down all the churches in California. And like, because of that, God is punishing you, right? And I was like, first of all, like, I believe in God and all this stuff, but I was like, bro, like, the churches are not closed. So this is fake news. Like, all I'm saying is that what you're saying is fake news. Like, the churches are not closed. I'm like, what the fuck I'm like, where you found out this? And he was like, I was like, is it Facebook? He's like, no. I'm like, YouTube? He's like, no. He's like, TikTok. And I was like, this is what I'm talking about.
Oh no.
Getting their information from TikTok.
Oh no.
I was just like, bro.
That's a good one though. That's a good conspiracy. That's the Lord. You want to close churches? If we're not going to be allowed to praise and worship in a building that we pay our tithes to, then watch these fires just burn it all down.
Right. I was like, bro, you got your information from TikTok? I was like, man, this is good. I'm going to have to cut you off.
That's what people are getting info now. TikTok, Twitter. That's no one watches the news anymore. There's no real, like, I don't even know what real or fake news is anymore.
I don't know.
At this point, I'm just like, is this real? I don't know. I don't
even know either. That's the part. Like, it's like, damn, it's crazy. But yeah, so like now that like obviously everything is like shut down, like where are the first places that you want to go to? Like as soon as the world opens up.
Tropical. Manny would say somewhere where there's snow. Like he wants to go. We were supposed to go to Germany for his 40th birthday this past July. And he was born and raised in Germany. So we were supposed to go back and do like a tour around where he grew up and stuff like that. And we didn't get to do that. So he'd probably want to go do something like that. I would want to go somewhere just tropical. I wanted to go to Thailand this year.
That's me.
I would love that.
I love my wife. Like right now, Katie's like, "Oh my god, we should go like Big Bear. I want to see snow and fall." I'm like, "It's cold. Like, why do you want it cold? Why do you go to? What's wrong with you?" That's why we moved to LA to get away from the cold.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we were supposed to go to Hawaii in March for like spring break. The first time we're gonna take the boys and like just go, and all got canceled.
Well, when you go to Hawaii, bring me your dog and I will watch him for you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm serious. Bring me
Anjelah trolls me anytime I post a picture of my dog. Bring him to me. I'm like, oh my god.
How many dogs do you have, Anjelah?
Two at the house right now. One is mine. One is my friend Penelope. Penelope lives with me right now, and but they look like twins. They're the same except one's 15 and one is 3. So one's just a grandpa version of the other one. But yeah, we have 2 dogs. Bonzo is my dog, and he loves Eric's dog because they were rescued together. So they're like little like jailmate buddies. And I actually am the one who got Eric to adopt Marcos because I went to get Bonzo and he was so adorable and his friend was so cute. I called all my friends and was like, somebody adopt this dog. Like, he's the cutest thing in the world. Trust me, you're going to love him. Also, we could be like play date friends, and like for sure they could stay in each other's lives. And then I sent a picture to Eric of this dog, and then she showed Katie, and that was the end of that.
No, hold on.
Anjelah, then you're literally
hold on. Angela's giving the family version of this story. On the phone, I'm going, I don't know. I got the boys ready. I don't know if I put your wife on the phone. Next thing I know, we're just gonna go visit the dog. When my wife, when she said we're just gonna go see it, I'm like, oh, we're gonna get this dog. Sasha. Sasha. It was like a drug deal. I walk into the place. I see the dog. I said, oh, look at him. He was just laying there. All the other dogs were barking. Of course, I was like, of course he's the most well-behaved dog. This lady walks up to me like a drug. You Angelah's friend? Follow me. What?
That's perfect.
I know people.
Yeah, it was over at that point. It was over.
Yep. So they need a play date because they haven't seen each other in a very long time. So I'm gonna need you to bring him over here and let him run around.
All right. Yeah. Let's do next weekend. We'll talk about it offline so we don't.
Okay. Everybody, listen to our scheduling.
Yeah. But before we let you go, where can people find you? What what's coming up next? What's not coming up next? Like,
let's see. Currently, we have our podcast that we do called Nights at the Round Table, and we talk about faith, love, relationships, the deconstruction of all those ideologies and the reconstruction of them all. And kind of like the conversation we were having today, like going in depth and talking about like some real life stuff. It's called Nights at the Round Table, and it came out of, we host our friends and family here at the house, and we'll have some really deep conversations that we're like, man, we wish more people could hear what we're talking about, because we feel like they would relate to it and connect with it. And we're like, well, let's just make a podcast. Well, actually, Manny came up with the idea. He was like, let's do a podcast. And it started with a round table here in my house that we would all sit around and chat. And so we call it Nights at the Round Table.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's it. And then I'm on Instagram. Sure. I'm on all the things like Facebook and whatever, but Instagram is where I'm most active for sure. And I do my ghost stories with Anjelah every other Friday. So you can check that out on Instagram.
Yeah, go check her out. She's doing the ghost story. She's doing the workouts. And then Sasha's going to come on and tell her ghost story.
Yes.
So do you keep the stories on your IGTV? Or you just
like... Yes, they're on my IGTV. And so you can go look at all the past episodes. And then I'm slowly bringing them over to my YouTube channel. So you could look at them on my YouTube channel as well. The Joe Coy episode is on my YouTube. It's not on IGTV because it glitched. Because it was creepy. So it glitched on my IGTV, but it is on my YouTube.
I'm gonna have to go check this out before I go back to Hawaii. I gotta check this out.
Yeah, because like, what was that? What island was that? You know.
The main one, Oahu.
Oahu, okay.
Well, thanks so much for spending this time with us. This was a lot of fun. We found out more about ghosts and the introspection, which I love. I love that you're having those conversations and you're keeping it real with everybody and letting us know what you're up to.
Thanks for having me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All right. And I'll call you in a little bit. We'll figure out this doggy play date.
Okay.
I feel left out, man. I need a dog.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Let's get Sasha a dog if you know about dogs. Hit her up on IG.
All right, bye.
All right.